Okay, looks like my camera went out on me, so I'm giving you this little part two. These are some of the medusas I've got this summer. You can see I made little shelves on my upright columns here for these plants. As I say, it gave me a lot more room. A couple of my other medusas, you can see they're kind of drying down now. I might have to give them some water though. I figure tomorrow I might give everybody just a little bit of water because these are drying out too quickly. This is Euphorbia gorgonis, one of the medusas. This one is Euphorbia murray, another one. And the Flanaganii, both of them. So yeah, these columns actually did a double purpose. Support the greenhouse roof, break it up a little bit here. Make room for other plants. Another little shelf I put up on one of the columns here has some of the succulents in it. Portucaria afra with the two different kinds of colors. They're variegated and normal. A little peperomia here. The species escapes me right at the moment. I think it's the only peperomia I have. I used to have some of the emerald ripple and some of those, but over the years got more into the cactus and succulents. My big tillandsia has just bloomed. This is what they call the pregnant onion, and you know the species name? I think it's Boea, but the total species name really escapes me right now. Little clancoes. Now, I had two varieties in here, and one, you can see kind of it down there, didn't do too good. It's called Chocolate Soldier. It was just like this one, but it just didn't take the heat as well as the silver one did. This is my great big poinsettia we've held over from last year and the year before, and it has gotten huge. That's a big bush there. I mean a bush. Starting to change. So we're getting close on it. So my fig trees back here, I cut them back so they'd fit a little bit better. Pachyra aquatica, it's sitting in a pot with the fig. I got some apunches over there and a pharaoh cactus that'll take cool a little better than most things. I might even put my coryphantha over there because that would be kind of a colder corner of the greenhouse. Some agaves there. I got to kind of watch this one apuncha here because it's real bad for scale, and I've had to scrub it and scrub it and scrub it to keep it clean. So I'll probably be checking it tomorrow real closely to be sure. This is my great big Bucarnia recurvata. This thing's taller than me now and has the most wonderful caudex on it. It is absolutely huge. Great big caudex. I bought this for like $35. A lady often sells plants from her husband's heating business next to the roadside on the highway. And I bought this beautiful Bucarnia from her. Really enjoyed having it. My old Monstera. I've had this thing like 10 feet tall 3 times. And the last time it was that tall is when my greenhouse froze. And it actually killed it all the way down to the soil. And it's never come back quite the same since. One of my big orchids here. I don't have too many orchids because this gets way too hot. Now this orchid is in sheath right now. So it may bloom. Like that one did. Usually these two bloom pretty close together. Euphorbia mauritanica. That's a plumeria up there. Another one of my fig trees here. So I cut it back. And it won't hurt the fig trees at all. They quite resilient. They'll pop right back out and fruit real well for me next year. I want to show you this one. It was an aloe snowstorm that I got from Anna of Cactus Caffeine. It's in full bloom. A lot of my aloes are coming into bloom now. So that's why I'm probably going to have to water a little bit too, because these guys seem to have that fall growth period. So I'll probably go ahead and water them. Plants really come out well. Now the plant next to it also I got from Anna. Agave Victoria Reginae. It's done real well. Now I've got other plants in the greenhouse too, in the house too, but I'm not going to show them today. One of my echinocactus I started about 3 years ago from seed. Deb bought me. A few other seedlings here I'm going to have to transplant next spring. There's my Trichocereus Thelagonus crest. That thing has just gone totally nuts. Look at that. Probably noticed some agaves. I got them kind of stored in little dark corners here, and really that won't hurt them at all. That's what's good about agaves. You can kind of store them back. They don't have to have all the sunlight and everything like most of the other stuff does. They take the cool floor a lot better than most. So oftentimes I keep them in these little corners. Another one here. A bowl of succulents there. They've kind of gone crazy. I think next spring I'll cut the heads off and restart them. That's what happens with a lot of these echeverias and graptopedilums and so forth and aeoniums. And they just go crazy. We've actually done pretty good this year. That one's blooming. My uncle bought me these, Mr. Walton Smith from St. Mary's, Alaska. He had them sent to me a couple winters ago. Yep, they'll be needing a restart. And you can start these things from leaves. You can start them from stem cuttings. And I like to just cut the crowns off these. And there you go. That's starting it from seed. Leaves, excuse me. That little plantlet there just grows right off of it. I'll just set it right back in there and we'll replant it in the spring. Monodenium heteropodum. Now it's a little dried out. I just watered it yesterday though, because it was just so shriveled. It's a little too far right now for it to be that way. My adenium gave me a little surprise bloom. This time of year they're going to start losing leaves. You can see by the yellow leaves. Some of my euphorbias, opuntoides. Rhodesica var confinalis that I got from Daz and Edith, Cactimania. It's grown quite a bit. I think it's grown almost 3 inches. You see the leaves are starting to come off of these. But I'm going to have to give it some water. My little Ceropegia woodii. It was hanging all over the place. I recently just kind of hung it right there. Because I was bringing everything in, it was getting caught in things. So I thought I'd better wind it up a little bit. It always does well. It's never been a problem. It blooms every year. This year I don't think it got seed on it, but usually every year it gets some seed on it too. It's in the milkweed family, the Apocinaceae, or Gasteria. There's a mixed bowl of succulents that Tammy uptown gave us. She has a little antique store and she was trying to sell these last summer, not this summer, but last summer, and she didn't want to carry them through the winter because they didn't sell, so she just kind of handed them to me and said, here, could you take these? So I took these, and they've been real nice. I really like them. There's really a curious thing about these, especially this one plant I'm going to show you. This is that crassula. Oh, heck, I forget the name now. Anyhow, it's a crassula, and look at this. I'm getting tiny plantlets from these hair roots. I've never seen this before. This is kind of something new to me. But from those hair roots, it's growing new plants. Pretty amazing. I think they call this the propeller plant. I just can't remember the species name right now. This is the Ficus benjamina that we've had for many years. I think 18 years now. This is the Jim Egan memorial tree. This is my father-in-law's memorial tree. This was brought to his services when he passed. It was given to us. Now you see a few yellow leaves, but that's no concern. Whenever you move these things from their current location, they tend to drop some leaves. I'm going to show you a couple of Stapeliads up here. This is Stapelia scitula. I used to think this was a caralluma, and then somebody told me online that it was a hernia. Look at that. But then I found later on, I finally found it online, it's a Stapelia scitula. Just full of little flowers. And this is Hernia zebrina. You might have seen this on my shorts the other day. called the lifesaver plant because the center of that flower, what it looks like. Looks a little lifesaver in there. And it's got some other buds happening on it. So I ought to get at least 2 more flowers. This is our Schlumberger Christmas cactus, whatever you'd like to call it. You see it's just starting to come into bud. Now I've seen many people have theirs and they're already well on their way into bud. This one's taking a little longer. I had this one hanging out under the trees all summer long, so you get the air and everything, but it's probably a little bit dry on it. And I got 3 different kinds. There's a red, an orange, and a white that's in all this. See, that one's probably the white one. It's done real well. Should be blooming for me, well, by Christmas anyway. Some aloes and sansevierias I have here. This one's going to need to come out of here by next spring. It's going to bust its way out of that pot if I'm not careful. The offsets are just getting way too tight and it's pushing the soil upward now. So I'll have to replant that in the spring. Trifasciata, I think they have another name for that now. The walking sansevieria, which I may have to replant that next year too. It's getting a little tight. I've been keeping this thing going for decades. I got it from the nursery I used to work at in California, at Live Oak Gardens. Another one there. A couple sansevierias. Have some various ones like the fernwood back there. Moonshine. And this, many of you may recognize this. This is a Cilia violaceae, also known as Ledboria socialis. I think it has another name too. It's one of the bulbs. It's a lily. But I got this as a cutting many years ago. It's probably been 40 years ago. From a friend of mine's mother. I was kind of cleaning up avocados out of their yard because they had a huge avocado tree. And we used to get the avocados there all the time. We just have to come over and rake them up for her. And so I got a cutting of this. And over the years, it's just gotten huge. There's a couple of times I actually forgot about it in the summer and it dried out completely. And I just watered it and it'd come right back. It's really become quite the plant there. And way up there, that is a Euphorbia briar patch. And it is a hybrid between Euphorbia stenoculata and Euphorbia turricale. Spiky little plant. Here we go. So my haworthias and aloes. I think they're gotten a little shriveled up over the last few days, especially from that heat. I'm going to have to lay some water on them too. Some down here. Haworthia savannah. These are Aloe and these are about 3 years old now. They're from seed. Deb bought me from some seeds, some cactus and succulent seeds, and that's what happened to be. It happened to be golden barrels mainly. I think I got a ferocactus out of it, a couple little saguaro seedlings, and these Aloe. I got 3 seeds. I got 3 seeds, and all of them came up. I've got another one up there. I got a lot of empty space here too. I may have to do something about that. But yeah, 3 years old. Those aloes really grow quick. I'm really amazed at how fast these aloes grow. A couple more over here. So I'm going to have to give it a little water. It's shriveling up way too fast, too quick. And this one's going to bloom. The aloe hybrid T-Rex. Anyhow, I just kind of wanted to show you around my greenhouse a little bit. I'm monodating Lugarde, a big one. It's already lost its leaves. So I'll have to water a little bit. It's just gotten way too hot. There's a Lamerioceras or Stenoceras thurberi. They changed the names on these so many times. It's getting this growth. I'm not going to water it because I really want to stop that growth. It's in the greenhouse here. It's a little too shady. It needs some full sun. And then the greenhouse just is not going to get it. So I want that growth to stop for now. This is a Petalanthus, which is in the Euphorbia family. They now classify it as a euphorbia, as a matter of fact. It'll be called Euphorbia tithylamoides, was Petalanthus tithylamoides. This is a variegated one. There's also a green one. It's kind of pink, as you see. It just goes all over the place. Sometimes known as the devil's backbone, because it's crooked. My Aluaudia. Finally had to move it away from the window. It was getting too tall. So I put it here next to the column. Anyhow, I was glad to show you all this today. And give you kind of a tour. I'm sorry that the camera stopped in the middle of the first one. I tried to get a full video, but it decided it wasn't going to let me do it. So, hope you enjoyed part 2. This is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I hope you're all ready for winter. Go over your little checklist and check it twice. You don't want to be left in the cold. That's for sure. It's Clyde Morris from Morris Park. Wishing you a good evening. Take care and a good weekend. Have a good one.